The following is an authentic 1st century Roman ghost story, as told by Pliny the Younger. Pliny the Younger, Book 7, Letter 27, to his friend Circa. Do you believe in ghosts? Hear now this story which I shall recount as I heard it. At Athens there was a sprawling, roomy house which was notorious and plague-ridden. In the silence of the night the clink of metal was heard. Then, to one of keener hearing, the distant rattle of chains was initially audible. A specter appeared, an old man bowed down with emaciation and filth, and chains on his wrists which he kept rattling. As a result, the residents were kept awake in terror all through the grim and dread nights. Their lack of sleep induced illness, and then, as their fear grew, death. For even during the day, though the ghost has retired, the recollection of it roamed before their eyes, and their fear survived longer than the causes of it. The house was then abandoned and condemned to lie empty, left wholly to that spectre. But it was put up for sale in case anyone unaware of the monstrous evil wished to buy or rent it. The philosopher Athenodorus visited Athens. He read the advertisement, and on hearing the price, he was suspicious because it was so cheap. So on making inquiries, he learned the whole story, and in spite of it, or rather all the more because of it, he rented the house. When the day began to draw in, he ordered a couch to be laid for him in the front of the house. He concentrated his brains and eyes and hand upon his writing, for fear that if his mind was unoccupied he would imagine the presence of the apparitions which he had heard of, and arouse in himself empty fears. At first the night was silent, there as elsewhere, but then there was a clank of metal and the movement of chains. The philosopher did not raise his eyes or abandon his pen, but he fortified his mind and stopped his ears. Then the noise intensified and drew nearer. Now it was audible at the threshold, and now within the threshold. He looked back and saw and recognized the spectre as it had been described to him. It stood there, signaling with a finger as though summoning him. In response, he gestured with his hand that it should wait a little, and again he bent over his tablets and his pen. The wraith rattled its chains over its head as he wrote. He again looked back at the ghost, which was signaling as before, and without lingering, he picked up his lamp and followed. The spectre proceeded with heavy steps as though burdened with its chains. After diverging into the courtyard of the house, it suddenly glided away and left him as he was accompanying it. Now left alone, he plucked some plants and leaves and marked the spot. The next day, he approached the magistrates, advising them to bid the place to be dug up. Bones were unearthed there, encircled and entwined with chains. The corpse had rotted with its time in the earth and had left the bones uncovered and worn away with the chains. They were gathered and buried at public expense. Thereafter, the house was free of the shades which had been duly buried. This has been an authentic Roman ghost story from the 1st century.